Hey everyone, welcome to High Level's 5 day challenge. Today is day 3, and it looks like we are live streaming. And if you are watching in one of our channels, give me a 1 in the chat and also tell me what city you're checking in from. This is a great way to network with fellow high levelers, especially if you are in the early stages and starting out, which I think the 5 day challenge is perfect for someone that's in the beginning stages of one entrepreneurship as well as their high level journey. So it helps you on both sides. So I see a few people. Okay. I see a few people. I'm checking with my phone here. Sorry. I see a few people logged in and watching. You could jump into the Zoom link directly as well, which you should have gotten in your email. So if you want to jump into the Zoom call, you can. You're welcome to, and we'll do a Q&A as well. So I'm seeing a few people here. Go ahead and give me some comments so that way I can verify that you can hear me. And I also want to know what city you're checking in from. And I'll do a couple of shout outs here real quick as we get started with the 5 day challenge. Today's day 3. Day 3 as in Wednesday. So we went through a ton of content already on Monday and Tuesday. And today we'll do a Q&A, a bigger Q&A around sales, marketing, even questions around the offer. So if you're watching this, let me just double check here. It looks like we're live almost on all channels. We should be live, I believe, in the Facebook group, as well as the 5 day challenge Facebook group, which is a private group we have just for the challenge. And then looks like we are live on LinkedIn, Twitter, and Instagram, and our job network as well. All right. So I'm seeing the comments here. Let's see. Let me double check. Okay, awesome. Looks like we are good to go. So I'm going to go ahead and start sharing my screen. And before I do that, I'm going to go ahead and record on this computer, and then everyone should be able to start their video as well. And okay, awesome. We are good to go. So let's do a open Q&A format type of a call today. But before we go any further, I want to just share a couple of house rules and a couple of things that you might have missed out on real quick, so that way you can maximize your time here at the 5 day challenge program. So let's see here. So first things first, we have a 30-day trial that we are running as part of this 5 day challenge. We had a ton of people sign up for this, by the way. And it's exciting because there's a ton of you that are out there watching this and you don't have high level just yet. And maybe you don't know what high level really does. And maybe I can kind of fill that gap in and help you understand the benefits of high level and some of the feature stacks. If you want me to do that, put some comments in the streaming and I can do that. But real quick, we have a 30-day trial that we're running. And this is the link for you to go ahead and directly sign up. And when you do sign up, here's what first of all, we don't normally do a 30-day trial, and you can do a 30-day trial to any of our plans. And that's exciting because usually we do a 14-day trial, but 30 days give you a full month to really get set up and onboarded and, all systems firing before you can really get going with your business. So here's what you get when you sign up for the 30-day trial. You get obviously the 30-day trial to any of our accounts that you choose, and then you get an agency snapshot. Agency snapshot is basically an automation template that you want to build for yourself as a service provider. So if you're a marketer out there, this is a marketer snapshot in other words. Secondly, you get the client fulfillment snapshot. That is what you can use to essentially serve your clients, regardless of what service you build. There are a couple of key fundamental automations all businesses must have, regardless of what service you provide, whether it's advertising, consulting, automations, and software or not. So that's really fruitful. And then we have a challenge workbook that you can download. It's a PDF format that you can download and follow along and do. There's homeworks in there as well, so you can follow those activities and exercises to kind of help you understand the full range of all the automations. We have a private Facebook group just for the 5 day challenge, you guys. So it's a great way to jump in, say hello, meet other high levelers. And by the way, you have access to it for 30 days. Okay. So if you signed up today for the challenge, and then let's say next week you find the Facebook group, as soon as you find it is when your 30 days will start, not necessarily when your registration is set up. So as soon as you join it, you get 30 days access, and after that, you get moved into our regular official community where we can still engage with you, but that'll be more of it's a bigger group of almost like 60, 70,000 marketers in there. So it's not the same as the private group, and I think it's a great way to get started and connect with people that are starting out in the high level journey, or they're in the early stages of their business as well. Brand new entrepreneurs are there. We also have the online course. So the 5 day challenge has this live component that we're doing right now, Monday through Friday, that we do during a challenge week. But in outside of that, let's say if you want to have your own self-paced course, you can log into our university.gohighlevel.com or go into your app on the left-sided menu. You'll see that there is a university tab. You can click on that and you can get access to that course. It also comes with pre-made funnel for prospecting for yourself, white label onboarding videos. There's sales collaterals. There's scripts. There's like eight or 10 sales scripts, by the way. It's not just the ones that I'm teaching in the 5 day challenge live. There's more angles and positioning that you can take advantage of and kind of test out the market with. There's a demo slide for those of you that wants to do more than just the quick 1 minute demo that we teach. Let's say you do want to go down the lane of having the corporate slides and all of that. You can take advantage of that. It's a white labeled demo that you can take and throw your logo on there and get going. There's a sales tracker in there. There's a BNI Chamber of Commerce trifold PDF FAQ doc. It's like a brochure you can download, and it's also white labeled. In addition to that, last but not least, you get Facebook ads templates. So if you are interested in launching Facebook ads with the offers we teach with the 5 day challenge, you can do that. Our teams that handle millions of dollars worth of ads every single month put that together. So it's a great starting point. I don't recommend you only using that. It's a great starting point, like I said. So you want to reiterate from there as you go into different offers. Um, Real quick, I want to just quickly, let me go to share my screen one more time. I want to quickly just review some of the content. Let me just see some of your comments real quick and make sure you want me to review. Give me a one in the chat if you want me to review the content from the last like 2 days, or if you feel like you missed out. Let me check here. Okay, I see a few ones in here, and I'm going to do a quick recap. So the 5 day challenge is basically geared for the brand new entrepreneur that's starting out. And this is perfect for you if you have never built an online business before. Okay. In addition to that, this is also good for you if high level is brand new to you and you have never done anything inside of high level. So brand new high levelers as well as brand new entrepreneurs are essentially the main core of the people that are partaking in the 5 day challenge. So with that in mind, I and myself and Chase, we put together strategies that make sense for you to go to market because we're agency owners of the past. We've built multiple businesses in the past. We also built the high level marketplace agency, which we scaled up to almost 800 plus clients a month. All to tell you, we've made enough mistakes in the world of business. And we wanted to just share from that. Okay. So the number one thing you want to do is lead with one offer, not multiple offers. And the one offer that I recommend is the missed call text back. We recommend a setup fee of $297 with an optional 7 day money back guarantee. And then once you have them landed as a client, you're going to set up a onboarding call. During the onboarding call, you are going to essentially get them on a Zoom call instead of a phone call. You're going to get them on a Zoom and you're going to basically open up your offers, the other four core offers that we recommend, which is GMB, Google My Business Profile Management, reviews for reputation management, web chat. You have live chat now as well that you can just install inside any websites or funnels and bring in organic leads in. And then lastly, the mobile app. These four are the core offer features that we recommend for everybody, every industry, no matter what happens. So ideally, for $297 a month that you are going out to the market for, you're providing them the gateway offer as well as the core offer. So this is the Trojan horse strategy that's going to help you land in the business and then expand within 72 hours. Okay. Initially, the only thing you're going to talk about is phone calls, phone calls, phone calls. I will help you field phone calls with my missed call text back feature stack, right? That's it. They don't need to know about anything else, but when they do jump into a onboarding call, you're going to basically mention, hey, look, you have phone numbers everywhere on the internet. Where are all the places that you have a phone number so we can field all those phone calls as well? Typically, it's GMB, website, social platforms. So you want to integrate all of that into one place on the sales theme of phone calls. Okay. Lastly, you have the option of doing expansion offers, which is paid advertising, consulting, something high ticket where you're charging 5,000 or 10,000 a month per client. And it's a great way to bring in cash, but it also is something that requires a lot of hours and efforts and talent and skills. So if you, depending on where you are in your service level or your competency in providing services to other businesses, you can create an option to have an expansion offer. If you don't have that skill yet to run SEO or Facebook ads or any of these, like actually function like a marketer, then I don't recommend you selling those services. I recommend you just leaning towards having the core offer, and that's it. Keeping it as simple as I can, as you can, is what I recommend. So lastly, a couple of rules here. Rule number one, single offer, expand to core offers within 72 hours. Rule number two, start with the beta round of customers with your warm network. We don't want you to do cold calling, cold emailing, none of that stuff as part of the 5-day challenge. It will not work with this angle and approach. Okay. There is a time for it. Remember, I said the launch strategy is different than your scale strategy. And your scale, like to me, that 25 client mark is the range that you have to get to before you start really, really getting narrow with your approaches and kind of solidifying your acquisition process. Until then, you're testing. Until then, you're not niching down. Until then, you're going all local, just in general, and kind of getting your feet wet, getting some ideas on how people function in your platform and services and offers, and then later deciding how you want to build your brand. Okay. Sorry, my mouse keeps fluttering here, skipping pages. Sorry about that. So rule number three is setup fee, recurring fee. The setup fee is needed for you to have a good client acquisition cost. Plus, that's the income and revenue that we will build to create a team around you, right? So you do have to have a setup fee of some kind. And then we're seeing a lot of folks in the challenge charge $1,000 or higher to set up A2P. So don't be afraid of the A2P problems or A2P obstacles that you might have seen or come across when it comes to texting regulations. Most marketers are now charging for that as a service because it is an essential need for every small business to be able to text a person to have A2P in place. By the way, I'm in Houston right now at home, and it is raining. It's pouring down, lightning and thundering. So in case if my internet goes out, Jordan, you're a host. I'll come back in, just FYI. Rule number four, launching products is a whole lot better than services. Services are not scalable. That's why you see companies like Apple become multi-billion-dollar companies where an HVAC company built around a service and talent does not scale to billions, right? Because it's dependent on people and talent. So the big rule number four, in my opinion, is build a productized business versus a service-driven business. The service-driven business we know has high churn. No matter what, clients will cancel on you within the first 90 days based on the data that we have here at High Level for all marketers. So what we have done is teach everybody how to productize this whole thing and go to market that way. So let's see, 11, 12-minute wrap up. Not bad. Took me 2 minutes to make sure streaming is all working. So let's do a Q&A just like what we did yesterday. I'm going to have you, and we're not going to go for like an hour and a half or anything. So we're going to do this for 30, maybe 45 minutes. I'm going to cut the call off at 12 o'clock so it doesn't get too long. So what I want you to do is, if you are in the Zoom room, I'm gonna, field your questions first. So if you want to raise your hand, so click on the reactions button and raise hand, just like the way I just showed you, and make sure your camera is on for our um, Q&A, and we'll get started with Q&A. So who is the first person? I see a few people inside of the Zoom room here, and we'll start with your questions. Here are the type of questions that I'm expecting. Questions around the offers, the strategy. If there's questions on the tech side, you can do that as well. Questions on A2P, like any questions that you may have, I'm happy to answer. And remember, we're agency owners and marketers ourselves. That's our first, love language more than because, being software people, right? The software side is just one of the things that we have in the grand scheme of things. So let me go ahead and pin myself and I'll go one at a time. It looks like Mark.
Hey,
Let's
Paul.
see.
Oh, Mark has hand raised. Sorry.
Yeah, let me go with Mark because he has this hand up. Mark Cantrell, how's it going? Let me go ahead and unmute
Hey,
you.
hey,
All right. Hey, what's going on, Mark? Good to see you. Remind me where you're checking in from again.
I'm from Cushing, Oklahoma over here.
That's right. That's right. Hey, welcome
So,
back. I think
yeah,
I think
just a
we'll
little
see.
north of you.
Yeah, yeah. What's going on? How's the progress? What's happening?
Progress is horrible. I'm still a wuss. I'm- I went to a big chamber banquet thing and was expecting to really get some networking in, and it was like kind of a seated at tables event, and I kind of wussed out a bit because like I don't know how to just introduce myself to a whole bunch of seated people at a table talking to each other. And so like I was kind of bummed out about that for a little while, but we're I'm still pushing out content
Okay,
constantly, all
great.
that
Yeah.
stuff. Um, my big question is the A2P thing. I've got it down as far as the LC number and whatnot. And I've done a couple of A2Ps. My question is there a way through High Level to do A2P for people's existing phone numbers? You said that people are offering like $1,000. I'm assuming that they're doing the $1,000 thing for the current phone number. They're not giving them a new Twilio number.
Well, they are giving them a new Twilio number. When I say $1,000, I'm saying what you can charge as a provider to a business to set that up, right? Because they don't know how to set it up. It almost becomes like a legal package. You have to provide like no guarantees of results and things like that. So yeah, people go back to their existing customers and explain and educate them on what it is. And what they do often is provide credit to the next month's business or something like that. They don't often just like be like, hey, I have a new invoice for you for $1,000. They're usually like, hey, usually this would cost XYZ. I'm gonna go ahead and give you credit, or if you want me to add something on or whatever, they kind of negotiate that barter services in a sense sometimes.
Got it. So
Right.
there's nothing we can do with their existing like phone number or anything as far as the A2P is
You
concerned. I
could,
realize that we
yeah,
can't.
you could take an existing line and get it registered if that's what you're asking.
And
Yes.
that's not through High Level. That would just be through like the carriers or something, right?
Yeah, all of it is through
Okay.
the carriers. It's got nothing to do with high level.
Well,
Yeah.
right, but you fill it out through High Level.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
Or
yeah.
I do. Uh,
Yeah, yeah. It makes it easier if you do go through our instructions and follow up along. But I mean, you said you've done it a couple of times now.
yeah.
Okay.
Matter of fact, my last one, I just did one here. I've got a guy on. I don't do free trials, just like you say. However, I paid for this guy's first month, and so that's kind of how I did this, so that he's given me a Google review. He's already done that, and he's also given me a video testimonial in return for me paying for his first month.
Oh, got
And
it. Yeah, I
I
was gonna
got
say, how did you
his.
barter service?
Right. And so my main thing is like I gotta get my name out there right now. And he's also in a lot of the I picked him up from a Facebook group and he's in a lot of these groups and he's very vocal and stuff. So I plan on bringing him. I've actually started up affiliate side too. And so
Okay.
since I'm weak at sales, I'm trying to have my affiliates do it basically from
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
But his to get his A2P for a local phone number was only 17 hours total. So the brand happened in like 10 minutes, and then 17
Yeah.
hours later, the campaign was done.
Oh, that's pretty good. You
Yeah.
know, back in September, November, when this whole thing came out, it was taking like 5, 6 weeks, sometimes 3 weeks, depending on the industry and things like that. So I know the times have gone down. And you know, businesses have to do this. They don't have a choice. It's part of the new regulations when it comes to texting. If you are a business texting a person, you have to be registered in the state that you live in and in the US, right? So this is a US oriented regulation, right? If you're in Canada, this probably doesn't apply, or any other international countries just yet. You have your own regulations to deal with, but this is new in the US space. But any questions, any follow-up questions to that, Mark?
No, but I will add something that will help a whole bunch of people here that are trying
Sure.
to do
Yeah,
that
feel free.
A2P. So
Yes.
when I set up that A2P, I originally what I did was I made my customer a website, and at the top of the website, like in the hero section, is where I put the opt-in form so that to make it easy for them to come in and look. And I also put the terms of service. You have to have terms of service and a privacy policy as well. I went ahead and put them up in the menu. It was in part of the main menu. Once it got approved, I moved them all to the correct locations on the website, and that just is streamlined everything. I feel like because when I did it myself for my own business, it took like 3 weeks and four failed attempts to actually get it to go through, and it was all about the terms of service and stuff. So just having it right
Got it.
there to where as soon as they go to your website, they can see all their
Yeah.
check boxes,
And
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 that
Mark,
helped.
yeah, and Mark, I'm gonna ask you a favor if you're down for it.
Okay.
Whenever you do your next A2P process, if you can record that in like a Loom video and post in the 5 day challenge or our
Okay.
main Facebook group, I'll make sure our community team knows that it's you and I've asked for it. So yeah, if you want to post that whole entire thing, I think it'll help people. I'm not a tech wizard. You're more smarter than I am when it comes to these things. So yeah, feel free to just post in the group and share how you got approved 4 or 5 different times. Because once you get the ball rolling, you understand what they're looking for. You kind of know. But the very first time, I'm sure it's miserable.
Mhm. Oh yeah, 100%. Especially when GH or I call it GHL just like everybody else.
Yeah.
When high level shuts off your they shut you off after 3 attempts and then you have to like go through this whole like turn me back on process. And so that was kind of
Oh
a pain in the
man,
butt.
yeah.
So get it right the first time.
Okay, well, thank you, Mark. I
No
appreciate you. I'm
problem.
looking forward to that video or something that you may potentially record. So appreciate that. Let's go with Greg Adams. Hey, Greg, let me just make sure we pull
Hey,
you up.
Paulson, how you doing?
Pretty good. Pretty good. Let me
Yeah,
um, make sure. Oh, sorry. Let me
no
just make sure
problem.
you're there. Oh, yeah.
There we
Perfect.
go.
Okay, cool.
Cool.
Hey, Greg, where are you checking in from?
Well, I'm just down the street from you or up the street. I'm in College Station. I'm a native Estonian,
Okay,
but I live here in
awesome.
College Station area, so I'm getting a little bit of rain right now as well.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, so I finally, had a friend of mine taught me at the high level. It's been a couple of years now, and I kept hearing all the stuff, but honestly, I thought it was a hype. But my question is, and we had a discussion last night, and trust me, I'm drinking the Kool-Aid now on it because I'm starting to see it. So I appreciate it. Because I've been in the service industry. I mean, I've been an agency for a long time,
Wow.
and
Yeah.
you're preaching to the choir, and it's just gone. It's no, I love the SaaS model. Anyway, my question being, and we had a discussion last night, and I got some clarity on it, is my first A2P. So I've set up my own company, and this is a new for high level. So I have my domain, and I'm just going to use the sole proprietorship on that. And they said, well,
Huh?
just put your name on it. So, but I didn't know in the terms of service and on the private policy, should I say do my business as my company name or just doing business, it's just my name inside there since I'm doing a prior sole proprietorship. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So whether you have a sole proprietorship, I'm not a lawyer or anything, so take it with a grain of salt. But
Sure.
whether you're providing, whether you're functioning as a sole proprietor or whether you have a DBA or LLC, it doesn't matter. I would list all of it in the privacy policy. I would list all of it in the terms and conditions and make sure people understand the parent company and the functioning name, regardless. Like that's the way I would go about it, but when it comes to marketing, of course, you can use your DBA as your main function. Now, the whole A2P thing is still early in the stages, right? It's not, it's even the carriers and the regulators, like it's all a brand new process to them. So you'll see different 2.0 maturity, like different levels of applications that they take. Certain industries just get shut down no matter what, So like they're evolving from that, from what I know. But in a way, it's going to be advantage. It's going to be an advantage to you as a technology provider because you want to get rid of the spammers
Oh
anyway.
yeah. I
So it's
just
like it's good for us. As
all
as
the
much as of a headache it is good for us. But I would list out all those names and functions in my opinion. And Mark can probably share a little bit about the privacy policy. I remember Mark. I don't know, Mark, if you're still on the Zoom call here. Let me see.
Yeah.
Mark, you said you had mentioned something about the privacy policy in one of your posts in the Facebook group, right? You had said something about it, if I remember.
I don't know, probably.
Okay. Yeah.
I,
Do
I
you
did a lot of
recommend?
stuff with that.
Yeah. Do you recommend listing the DBA as well as the sole proprietor and the full LLC? Like, what's your
So
experience?
yeah, so I'm assuming since you're a sole proprietor right now, you're planning on going LLC. I'm sorry, I didn't hear the
yeah,
full question. I was writing some
yeah,
stuff down.
yeah. So I mean, yeah, we went over it with another group last night, but in the privacy policy, so yeah, yes, that's what I plan on doing. I'm sole proprietor right now with this. I had another, marketing business, but I don't want to confuse it because I'm just selling SaaS right now. So I've got my SaaS name and I'm operating as a, sole proprietor and I'm trying to make sure that I have all my, T's crossed, I's dotted for the privacy policy and the terms of service. So what do I include, in the terms of service, terms and conditions in the privacy policy on my site?
All of it.
Okay, well, just
So
what?
even if you're in an LLC, you still, I think it's a requirement that you actually have like your name down in there, your support,
Okay,
all that kind of stuff. The owner is
all right,
this name. So for all intents and purposes, even though you're a sole proprietor, write it as if you were an LLC, except for you're not putting LLC at the end. Because in the future, you're going to switch it over to either an
makes
S
sense.
corp or an LLC,
Right,
and
make
you're still doing business as that. It's just the sole proprietorship. So,
got it.
but
Okay,
all of it.
Yeah.
thank you.
I
All right,
recommend
thanks.
I recommend all of it as well. So thank you, Mark, for jumping in. Now here's the thing. They don't care about who the business is when it comes to A2P regulations. They care more about the person behind that brand and the business. They want to make sure it's a real human being and it's not like some random call center set up in Jamaica poaching a bunch of American consumers. That's the whole point of A2P. It's the pirating that happens internationally that they have to figure out a way to make sure they're identifying international pirates versus domestic, marketers or spammers, essentially, right? That's really the difference that they're trying to do. So I recommend all of it. Any follow-up to that, Greg?
Nope, that was my
Okay.
question. I appreciate the input.
Okay, awesome. Let's go with Bashir. Hey, Bashir, let me go ahead and add you here. Let's see, add to the spotlight. Hey, Bashir, how's it going? Let me go ahead and unmute you. I think you had spoke yesterday. Where are you checking in from again?
Yeah, Canada, Toronto, Canada.
Okay. Awesome, awesome. What's your question?
Yeah, it's not a question. It's just if you can explain more about to go for a product, not a service, because I think like SaaS, it's all services. You give customer services. What do you mean by product? If
Yeah.
you can
So
explain more.
actually, great question. We coined the term SaaS software as a service, right? But in reality, it's a product. It's not a service compared to other services in the world of marketing and business. So when I think of service, I think of talent-based fulfillment, human capital required fulfillment, or some sort of a performance, right? So like Facebook ads, Google ads, videography, SEO, consulting, these are all services that are dependent on people and talent. And that's what I mean by services and getting away from services. When it comes to product, yes, in the beginning, there's a little bit of onboarding. There's a little bit of, 5, 6 hours that you're spending stabilizing a new user inside your platform or whatever. But when it comes to SaaS and productizing this whole thing, the idea is to give them technology so they self-manage. The technology is basically the features that are inside of high level, packaged up in however the way you want for the industries that you serve, for the price that you set. Right. So after like 3 weeks of SaaS, once they're stable, you shouldn't have to get involved with that business anymore. They're off to the races. They know how to manage it. Like, how many times did Apple call you after you bought the phone?
No, none.
But is it a service in a way? It is a service in a way, right? If something goes wrong, you could call Apple. They're available, but they don't deal with us on an ongoing basis. So therefore, their human capital is not spent to increase our usage, right? So because of that, it's productized service. And that's what I recommend. The problem with the agency model, the marketing model, is that we know from data within the first 90 days, Bashir, within the first 90 days, 72% of clients will cancel the marketer or the service. That's a very high churn. That's a very high churn. That means only 30% will stay with you every 3 months, meaning you have to nonstop do sales to keep the ball rolling. That's the only way you can build the marketing business, right? It's by going all in on sales. That's why all the coaches in the world of marketing are all sales coaches. Very few people you see teaching you operations and account management. Why? Most agencies don't get to that level. So there's no demand for, that type of stuff. But anyways, that's exactly what I mean by productizing your service
Yeah,
versus
got it.
just services only. Okay.
Got it. Thank you.
Cool.
Thank you.
Okay, awesome. Hopefully that makes sense.
Yeah.
This is
Thanks.
this is so you have less fulfillment and less things to deal with in the long run. That's the game that we want you to play. Otherwise, you forever will be at the mercy of the client, and that's no fun. You're trying to build, generational business yourself. Okay, so let's see, Param. Let me just go ahead and make sure I got. Did I
Yeah, perfect.
pronounce it
Yeah,
right?
that's
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, cool. Where are you
Actually,
checking in?
yeah, I'm from Toronto,
Toronto as well.
and
Okay, cool.
yeah, and I'm Salesforce certified admin, and I'm doing the IT consultant, especially in implementing ERP and CRM. And recently, I
Cool.
started my own business to approach a small business to utilizing CRM and get benefit of that. But
Very
since
cool.
Salesforce is too expensive for type of that business, from implementation to enhancement and maintenance, I was looking for another application and found Go High Level. So I'm very new to the Go High Level, but it's perfectly can cover all the goals for a small business
Yeah,
that I found so far. And I have
absolutely.
3 questions.
Yeah.
I start with the very, a starter, I guess, 95 plan.
The
And I
97, the
found,
$97 plan?
sorry,
The $97 plan?
yeah,
Uh-huh.
97 plan.
Yeah.
So I just started with that, and during that, the 1 month ago, I found the five, business that they are going to, I help them with the CRM. But in the 97 plan, I just have the three agency, one for myself and two other. Can just add that some based on the customer I get, I just add to that plan, or I have to move to the 297? This is my first question.
Yeah. So the $97 plan ideally only has one location. Okay, that's the way we've built that entire plan. Now,
Mhm.
if you every once in a while, we'll do promotions, we'll do pushes, we'll do marketing campaigns. Sometimes some of our affiliates push it where they are allowed to provide a 3 location plan. So usually you don't get the 3 location plan, it's a 1 location plan. If
Oh,
you are going to function as a marketing provider, like where you need to have accounts, the 297 plan is the ideal plan if you're going to function as a service provider. The
mhm.
97 is designed for like the small business owner who's not trying to build marketing services. They just need to use it for themselves. So you do need to move to the 297, but the 297 comes with unlimited, everything, unlimited location, unlimited sites, unlimited funnels, texting. I mean, everything is unlimited, and you also have a decent amount of white labeling capabilities in there. And then the 497 is the SaaS plan that allows you to automate a lot of the SaaS automated billing, subscription management, plan creations, text rebilling, email rebilling, APIs. Like it's a little bit more advanced, but you don't need that for the 5-day challenge.
Yeah. Okay, so I have to move the 297 plan.
If you're gonna have multiple businesses in there, you got 5 businesses,
Yeah.
you're gonna need the 297 plan quickly. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But the functions
Okay.
and the features are the same. The only
Mhm.
difference is the unlimited account capabilities. Like the features are all the same, but you don't get unlimited locations with the 97.
Okay. What do you mean of the location? It just confused
So
a little.
a sub account is considered a location, right? So
Oh,
if you're working with, let's say, a dentist who has 3 locations, you essentially need 3 sub accounts to separate all their sales and marketing activities into different places. And
okay. I get
so
it.
yeah. So like whenever, do you see my screen real quick? Let me
Yeah.
just share my screen real quick. So whenever you log in, this is what. A little promo here. So whenever I log in, this is what my agency dashboard. This is when you log in, this is where you would land. This is the agency dashboard. On the
Mhm.
top left corner, you can click on switch to search for sub account. Sub
Yeah.
account is the platform term that we use for locations. So I can click here and go to all my sub accounts. I have thousands of sub accounts in here, right? And then if I want to go directly to a sub account overview, I can click on sub accounts, and I could even see which one has WordPress enabled, which one has Yext not sold, which one has SaaS mode active, which one has lead connector. Like I can go through at a bit, a larger view of each sub account as well. When I go through this, so that's the way you can see where your businesses, I mean, locations are. But yes,
Mhm.
you do need the 297 plan. You don't need the SaaS plan just yet unless you're, ready to automate a lot of that subscription. But
Mhm.
hopefully that gives you some ideas.
Okay. Thank you so much. So,
Okay.
the second question is about recently I learned Go High Level has an awesome features named Snapshot. So we can create the all
Yes.
things in there and just take the picture, send it to another place. So
Yeah.
what I just
It's an automation template.
yeah, but actually I couldn't find any place like the App Store or App Exchange for Salesforce that we go there and find those snapshot in the one place. Is there
You
any
you could, yeah.
link or you can help me to find in the centralized show me the all the snapshot that the other created.
Yeah. So there's 3 ways to go about it. When you go inside of our high level Facebook community, there's thousands of businesses there that are using high level, and a good amount of them have their own marketplace and snapshots that they sell. So
Mhm.
if you collaborate with some of the users and ask them, hey, for this industry, does anybody have a snapshot? Most people will give you snapshots for free. Like they don't care because
In
that's
Facebook.
that inside of our Facebook community, you just simply ask people, hey, anybody have a snapshot? Most people give it to you for free because the culture we have inside of High Level is very collaborative. We're not as competitive with each other as marketers and providers. Of course, there is, a few people here and there that's like, hey, this is my stuff, whatever. But then also there are high level agencies and certified partners. So some of the certified partners I can think of is, Extendly, HL Pro Tools, the Academy, the White Label Suite. These are all businesses that are around the ecosystem of High Level that has nothing to do with High Level. They're third parties. They have their own certification programs. They have their own snapshots, and you can download it with them. And then on top of that, I personally do 3-day workshops with top experts that I bring into the community. And most of the time I give away snapshots based on the content that I'm teaching, right? So last time I did Adrian Brambilla. Next one, we're about to do an AI workshop. I think it's going to be really good next week with Molly Mahoney. She's a brilliant mind when it comes to AI, and we're going to get technical with that workshop. We're going to go into the workflow and start building things out. And I'm not a tech wizard. I hate technology. I'm a business development guy. So I bring in people that are experts at things that I'm not good at, right? So there, you can get snapshots there as well. But yes, I mean, there's so many different places to find a snapshot, depending on the use case scenario. There are people that sell snapshots for $100,000 to a franchise. So, I mean, everybody has different, lanes for it, but you can definitely find whatever you would need for like a local business for sure.
Okay, thank you. It just something's bring up to my mind. If I move to the 297
Uh-huh.
and I have, for example, let's say 7 customer, how can I build them? I have to build them through the Go High Level or separately?
I personally think you can. Well, are you asking for SaaS or without SaaS?
No, just 297
Yeah,
plan.
you
It
just
seems
want to
it-
you just want to
it's
build
not
them,
SaaS.
right? Yeah, you just want to build them 297 for any service, right? And it doesn't
Okay.
have to do with text messages. So all you have to do is go to Stripe, which is our, preferred merchant.
Mhm.
So you go inside Stripe, create a product, and then all you do is add that product to your agency account. And then within the system, we have invoices features and payment features. All you do is shoot out a link to your customer. They can choose to pay it one time or recurring or however they want to set up payments. So you can do that through invoices and payment features.
And they have to pay 297 again for each of them?
It depends on what kind of product you create. You create a one-time product, sure, then it's one time. If you create a monthly recurring product, like with SaaS or agency services or consulting, then it's monthly. So once you've created that, the system will shoot out on the 5th of every month a new invoice over to them. You can select whether you want it recurring or not.
Oh, okay. I have
Yeah.
to learn about that. Thank you so much.
Yeah, those features are there. A lot of our financial features are really, really strong, and they're all. Remember, we're pretty new. Like we're not, we're only a couple of years in, and so we're developing as we go. And so we listen to your customer. Let's say you go in there and you're like, Paulson, there's a couple of things that it's missing. You tell me what that is. Shoot me a Loom video. We'll go spend the money and develop it in like a week. That's the style at High Level. So then it's a democratized system. So then all users keep developing. We become your development arm. So it just keeps building. Any follow-up to that?
No, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Awesome. Great.
Thank you.
Great
Bye.
round of questions. It's always cool seeing someone come from Salesforce. I think I find it fascinating. So appreciate you being here. Let me
Thank you
go
so much.
ahead for sure. Let me go ahead and let's see, Dr. M. Dr. M, let me just see. Why is it not letting me pin you? Okay, there you are. Okay, cool. Awesome. There you go. How's it going?
It's going amazing, Coach. Thank you,
Awesome.
man. First of all, I want to say to you, you've been doing an amazing job and very thorough in your explanations and helping people like me. I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed, but I've been able to wrap my mind around a lot of this. So
Okay,
my
awesome.
company is a company business marketing consultant
Okay.
company, and my focus is toward medium and small size businesses, which is what you've been suggesting in your
Okay.
presentations. I'm also from Houston. And
Okay, cool.
I've been in sales forever, but I've only been in the tech space for like a year and a couple of months. So
Okay.
I'm
Yeah.
I'm still a novice. I
Yeah.
just born. That's all. So I'm a one trick pony, and I'm kind of in this space by myself. So I'm thrust into the space of learning the software side of it because I agree with you. I think that it gives me more sustainability and long-term longevity in terms of servicing my customers. So my
Mhm.
question is, yesterday I was so excited. I followed your recommendation. I went to the quick wins and I was going through some things and I decided to reach out to a prospect and I shared with him the Trojan approach, right? The text back, missed call, text back deal. And he sounded very interested. He's in Atlanta, Georgia. And so I went to the new tab with prospecting and I saw an amazing thing back there where it kind of give an assessment or layout of your competitors and your company, where they are located and so forth.
Yeah.
So my question was, how do I, because I want to communicate within the hub, right? And so how do I put that prospect in, put his email there where I can start benefiting from the email autoresponder, number one, and then he can receive the information and all that communication is in the hub of Go High Level. So that was one of the things that I was faced with as a challenge on yesterday. So if you can get some perspective on that, that's number one. Number two.
Well, let me answer number one before you go to number two.
Okay.
So first of all, great job. I think it's a strong suit to be a one-trick pony in the world of technology because everybody, as soon as they get to a certain level of learning technology in different pieces, they lose sight of who they are. They lose sight of their strengths and weaknesses. So then everybody feels like they're good at everything. And then when they go prospecting, it usually doesn't resonate with someone who is not in that world, right? So I think stay in the sales lane. Don't waste time learning the platform. I would first say partner up with someone who's very good at the technology and split the difference, whatever you want to do, however you want to go about it. It's better to have half a watermelon than a full grape. Right? That's my mentality. So I'm a huge proponent of partnerships. Get somebody who's certified inside High Level, and you can trust that person. They're certified by High Level as a parent company. So go down that route. But when it comes to the prospecting tool, it's built in, and that's a brand new feature, by the way. So the prospecting tool that's inside of High Level, where you can search up a local area and businesses around it that doesn't have certain features like web chat is not turned on, GMB is not on, listings not on. You can identify the issues with that business online and send them a report. Now, what you want to do is create a sub account or a location for yourself as the provider, right? So first thing you want to do is create one sub account for sales and marketing and another sub account for account management or client fulfillment. So every marketer should have at least two sub accounts, one for your sales and prospecting activities and marketing, and the other is for fulfillment. You don't want to mix that either or. And you can connect two sub accounts together inside a pipeline and say, hey, listen, as soon as they go through this phase, they get populated into the other sub account, and then you can automate the system. The second thing you want to do there is create a workflow or an automation template that allows you basically want to map out your sales cycle and how you engage with your prospects, right? So did you first call them? Then did you follow up with a text? Then did you do an email? Then you followed up with a report email. Then you send a video, like whatever that journey that whatever that sales flow you like, you want to map that out, then get inside of High Level, build it out in a workflow with the right delays. You don't want it to be undelayed where it just feels like all of it shoots out at once, give it a 4 hour break, give it a 2 hour break, give it a 3 minute break. Like you need to create and replicate a real human interaction. And somebody can do that for you, by the way. Like $50, somebody can build all that out for you. Like it's not that serious. Jump into our job network, find a certified partner. Somebody can, sit on a call with you for an hour, and they can go build it out in like 30 minutes. It's not too complicated.
Okay.
That's the way I function because I'm not techie. If you ask me to go build it all out, it'll take me a couple of days, and half of it's going to be built out properly, and I don't trust it on top of that. So, but anyways, that's what I would do if I were you. Map out your sales flow, go inside of one of our job network or certified directory and say, hey, I got a $100 budget or $50 budget. Can somebody build out one workflow for me? And all I'm doing is setting up my prospecting line. And I promise you'll get 200 DMs by the time you click send. People are going to jump on it because they want to impress you, do long-term business with you. And I think that's the way I would go about it. Worst case scenario, build it out yourself, watching YouTube videos. We have a ton of, workshops and all that. It takes a long time. I'm not a fan of that. I think that's the biggest disadvantage we have. Our platform is too big. It's too complicated for the person that's brand new to the world of business and marketing. But if you're advanced, it's the best thing on the planet. So it takes a little bit of time to get acclimated, but hopefully that gives you some suggestions and ideas and comments on your first question.
Thank you so much. Very insightful. My other thing is, so I don't mind the idea of 1% of 100 as opposed to 100% of one, right? So getting someone to come on the team and do that. So let me ask you this, because at some point I want to transition into perhaps bringing on a VA who can actually handle that that aspect.
Yep. 1000%. Yeah.
So my question would be, the person that I've been working with, who's I partnered with, that helped me do a lot of this stuff, do they offer maybe some insights or working with my VA person to get them acclimated with knowing what to do and how to do that?
When you say my person, are you talking about an affiliate that brought you in?
Well, okay, thank you. So what I mean is, so you Go High Level have an opportunity to partner with someone who can do the work, right?
Oh, yeah, we have a directory of people that are certified.
Okay.
So you would have to go through the directory, Jordan or someone in the communities team. If you can post the link to that directory, you can go there and find a database of people that are certified through our certifications program. By the way, it's hard to get certified. It's a live proctoring with the human person where we're on a Zoom asking you to build out a bunch of stuff. It's pretty hard to get certified. So, and then you pay a fee and all of that. So they're like, real business owners that are getting certified. So we don't police that. Like somebody can take advantage of you. We can't control that, but you need to interview them properly, understand what they're wanting. And you can go as cheap as finding someone overseas for $5 an hour. And then on top, that's one option. Or you can bring in a big time consultant that built out, every platform that you can think of. So it just depends on the range. The point for me to have a setup fee, remember I say have a setup fee of $297 one time.
Right.
That money is going towards your team. That money is going towards fulfillment. And that's the way I like to do it. That's the way I built all my businesses. I've always had a setup fee, and whatever money I made from that, I pushed it and invested into my partners, my VAs, my team members, anybody that handled the grunt work, including prospecting and appointment setting on sales front. All that goes towards that. And I think that's so all it takes is for you to sell maybe 2 or 3 of these. After that, you have enough money to then bring on a person. And people, you don't have to do it full time. They can come and do 4 hours worth of work for 4 businesses. It's not a, because it's SaaS, it doesn't take a lot of hours compared to long-term maintenance like Facebook ads or Google ads or anything like that. Another reason why you want to productize this. But hopefully you'll find someone. You can check in the job network and you can find people that are not certified as well. There are plenty of people that are not certified, but we launched our certifications program literally last month, and there's like 260 people now there that are certified that you can choose from.
Yeah, so I think on it, I was trying to get at is that if that certified person, and I guess that's just a part of my negotiation, but I would want that certified person to interact with my VA that I'm hiring to handle that in the future. I would want them to work with them. So I guess that would be just an arrangement I would have to have with that
Oh,
certified.
you don't even need to have both. You can find VAs that don't need any training. You
Oh,
can find VAs for $5 an hour that knows high level today. Like
really?
yeah. Like you don't need to have a certified partner that's going to come in and train your team or anything like that. The platform has been around long enough for enough people to be out there that knows base level knowledge. So yeah, you go into our high level job network, which is a Facebook group we have, and just put your project there and say, hey guys, I'm working on bringing in my first SaaS client. We're doing missed call text back as the main offer. I just need somebody to set this up in the core offers and make sure the customers are good. Do that a couple of times and you'll find people. I promise you. It's not, you don't need to put together leadership yet. Go to then probably train so you don't have to deal with the team. And I know that's what you're probably thinking, but that's too early. You just need somebody to fulfill and get out of the way for now.
Yeah. Well, what would be really, I think, favorable for me because I'm the kind of guy, that I like to kind of know my business too. So, what would be really important for me is that if I can walk alongside the
Yeah.
certified person while they're doing that,
Yeah.
that we can get introduced to it. I can get acclimated. I kind of understand the
Yeah.
process. And that way, whenever I need to bring someone on, if I don't want to reach out, I can train
Yeah.
someone who can train the trainer, so to speak.
Yeah, you can do that. For that, you definitely want to go with a US-based virtual assistant or a
Okay.
Canadian-based virtual assistant. If you go overseas, then time zones don't work, language barriers happen, even though they know the technology, and they usually don't deal with the clients.
Right.
With US-based, team members, you pay a little bit more. Maybe instead of $5 an hour, you may pay $15 an hour, right? But there are benefits to it. You can set and negotiate and say, hey, listen, when we do business, you cannot spend more than 3 hours a client. So that way I know I'm not going to spend more than $45 on fulfillment, even though I'm charging $300 an hour. So you need to set those boundaries of like, here's a allotted time. Otherwise, it's like Thumbtack. I don't know if you ever used Thumbtack before, but these are the furniture assembly people. They charge you, $50 to set up your furniture, but they don't tell you they'll take 8 hours to set up a little stool.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, because I've wasted money on Thumbtack and you can't regulate how long they take. And I'm like,
This high level?
bro, like, like this doesn't take that long, but they ride the clock out because they know they get paid for a full
Right.
day. So
Does high level integrate with Hubstaff? Because Hubstaff is a great platform that manages people clocking in, how long they're on a
yeah,
job.
you don't need any of that yet.
Okay.
You
All
don't
right.
need time clock management. You don't need HR tools. You don't need any of that. You tell somebody, I got $50. Can you fulfill? Yes or no?
Gotcha.
Move on to the next person. Give them 3 hours to fulfill. Once it's all set up, you need to learn how to talk to the customer and make sure they can log in and use the platform. But this is why I say your launch strategy is different than your scale strategy. Until 25 customers, you can do, like I'm telling you, you can do most of it. You don't need a big team around you. We've seen people get to 500 plus customers with 2 VAs.
Hmm.
So that gives you perspective on SaaS fulfillment, which is a whole lot easier. But any last follow-up to that? I just want to make sure I'm thorough.
Yeah, so my other thing is I just have two it's one and the same. And
Okay.
I know the other thing, a part of the Trojan is the web chat and the is it the web chat and the
Yeah, GMB, web chat, reviews, and mobile
review.
app.
Yeah, so I think the mobile app is pretty simple. The reviews, I think that's pretty simple and go high level. The web chat, I really want to get appreciation for, because that seemed to be a part of the flow as well, right? So
It is, yeah. So
how do I
web
present
chat,
that?
yeah, web chat is really simple. When somebody goes to their website today, can they chat in? Can a visitor of a website chat in with you live? If the answer is no, you can turn on that feature and install that for their business, and then live organic leads are coming in to the platform that they would have never captured because nobody's going to a forum and signing up every time. They're just visiting. If they're visiting, and if you go to gohighlevel.com, you'll see a live web chat there. That's a perfect example of something that you can kind of model off of. But web chats are needed now for most local businesses. The crazy thing is, nobody wants to call or be on a phone anymore. They want to text. Everybody wants to text, text, text. So then we
Right.
lean towards that, right? We
Yes.
lean towards that and set up a web chat on a business website for all their websites. If they have 5 websites, all 5 has to have a live chat. If they have 5 funnels on top of that, all 5 has another 5 live chat. And all those interactions, and one, you can automate that interaction and you can create the live, but the conversations get pulled inside the unified inbox, right? So then in the conversations, when they log in, they see all conversations that are happening across their businesses. Today, it's not consolidated, right?
Mm.
So when you come in and consolidate messages and sales and prospecting that's happening organically, you're going to naturally help that business win because they're more organized. They're just more organized with sales. Does that make sense?
That makes a lot of sense. And at Google My Business, that kind of offers the same thing as well.
Well, Google My Business is a profile that's inside a search engine. So if you Google any business in a local area inside of google.com, you'll see a profile set up. So like, let's say, for example, if I'm just sharing my screen and I'm like, okay, dentist near me,
Mhm.
right? This thing that you see right here, these profiles, these are the Google profiles for that business,
Okay.
right? So then let me just see. And people have to maintain this like it's a social platform. And these things, well, this is not a good one. So let me just go with restaurants near me. Right? So these are all Google profiles that a local business has to maintain. People see the reviews. You can order through it. You can call through it. A lot of them don't even have phone calls turned on. And then that itself is a maintenance of that itself is a service that we're adding to it. People pay a couple of $100 for that per month just to maintain. Because organically, usually thousands of leads are coming in a month that they're not fielding. Especially if their SEO is good. But let me go ahead and move to the next person here. I appreciate your questions. Hopefully you got some answers here.
I did.
Let me let's see. Gear. Yeah, absolutely. No problem. Appreciate the compliments as well. Dr. M, appreciate you sticking through here. Let's go with, is it Gear? Did I mess that up?
No, it's okay.
Okay.
What they say, it's like Richard Gere without Richard.
Got it. Love it. Where are you checking in from? What are your questions?
Cambridge, UK.
Okay, awesome. Thanks for staying up late.
Well, it's not that late. It's
Okay.
6 p.m.
Oh, okay, cool. Awesome.
Yeah. I have a couple of questions. I see there's
Sure.
a lot of hands and
Yeah, let's go with 2 questions then so I can get to as many people as I can.
so on the A2P, the business we are launching using High Level, and by the way, we are brand new to High Level as a platform or an operating system, as you like to call it. Sure. Just signed up on that 5-day thing you had with Billy during the holidays.
Awesome.
So on the A2P, if we, as a UK limited company, are doing direct business through social media, whatever, in the US, How does that work? Do the UK business have to register with A2P?
Typically, yes, but the focus is not really you as the provider. It's the businesses that you're serving. So let's say you work with, what industry do you work with?
We work in e-commerce.
Okay, so e-commerce, right?
Yeah.
Those e-commerce businesses, for them to talk to their customers using text,
Yeah,
if
but that
they're-
will be us. In this scenario, there are two scenarios. One scenario is that we are operating directly and fulfilling products to the US consumer.
Sure.
The other part of the business is that we operate like, well, we're going to use High Level to operate like a SaaS in a done-for-you scenario of a customer avatar is any influencer, newsletter, other websites, whatever, which have a huge database, and they want to add our products as a sideline to make additional money without having to go through the hassle of inventory, private labeling, and all that stuff, because we are organizing everything for them, if you understand what I mean. And
Yep.
that's what I think will be kind of agency level through High Level.
Yep.
Because then I can run, if I have, as an example, if I have 100 influencers on, any platform, Instagram, TikTok, whatever, they all have their own Shopify store, which I now realize that we can actually do through High Level as well.
Yeah.
Then there will be one influencer, one, funnel and all that good stuff onto the Shopify store. That will be like one flow, and then we can multiply those in
that's very
as many clients as possible.
Yeah, that's very standard practice for e-commerce businesses that are pretty matured, and they provide done for you or done with you services to fellow e-commerce businesses. Very common practice. The answer is yes. You do have to register and say, I am a real business that is functioning with a US built business, dealing and texting US consumer. Yeah. So answer is yes, you do have to register.
And the other part, obviously,
both parts.
they are the client then, so they will be US probably based mostly, so they will have to register for it. Yeah, then we don't have to register for that.
Yeah, but most people don't know how to register.
Well, I don't know how to register. I'm sitting here in the UK.
That's because it's brand new regulations, right? This is so brand new. I mean, every platform, regardless whether you use High Level or not, this is carrier related, not platform related, right?
Well, I was in the 900 and 800 business, and ringtones and logos on the old Nokia phones. So I've been dealing with carriers a lot, but this is a brand new thing that we didn't have to worry about.
Yeah, this is all brand new for everybody, including the carriers themselves. And idea is to register, and your clients have to register as well. And you can get someone inside of High Level to do that for you if you don't want to deal with it. But the answer is yes. At some point, you're going to have to register if you're going to text as a business to a person. Whether they opted in or not, it doesn't matter. If you're going to text a business, if you're going to text a person as a business, you do have to register. Now,
what if when I use sales bots as an example, through Messenger, WhatsApp, and whatever, it's on their number, but it goes on those platforms instead. Does the A2P?
No, it doesn't apply to every channel that is in a text format, right? WhatsApp messages are not the same in quite
Okay, okay,
some
that's great.
countries.
So
Messenger bots, ManyChat, a lot of these are not in the same compliance level as true text messages,
yeah, see,
right?
I'm talking about ManyChat here as
Yeah. Yeah. So they fall in different categories, and that's because the regulators have not addressed them yet. It's not because it's approved for whatever usage. It's more like they're just not matured enough just yet. And I'm sure, or towards the end of the year, they will have some language around it. But the answer is yes. How do we go
but
about it? That's a deeper question.
the
Yeah.
last very quick one is if I have to do the A2P from a UK limited company, can that be done, or would it be better if I set up Wyoming LLC, something like that, and
Yeah.
then have that as a subsidiary of
Yeah, that's a whole lot easier if you establish yourself inside of US,
yeah,
because
so
then you will fall under
Delaware or
national.
Wyoming, yeah.
Yeah, those are the two everybody registers.
Okay.
But I recommend you doing that. It's probably easier, but it depends on your business level as well. If you're texting maybe 3 times and there's not a lot of volume attached to it, I probably wouldn't even deal with it. Like that's just me personally. That's not good advice.
Well,
But
we used to send hundreds of thousands of texts in the UK over the weekend. So
yeah, more reason. It sounds like you have a larger operation, and you're gonna wanna. The worst thing that can happen is you come on, you log in Monday, and then all your text messages gets blocked. Your numbers will all get
even for
blocked.
customers, even for customer service,
Doesn't
even if
matter.
they opted in.
Doesn't matter. You don't have.
Okay.
They just want to protect the consumer.
I understand.
And that's what it is, once it's done, it's done. You don't have to worry about it. But yes, you will get blocked if you don't register.
In the last quick one, I think you understand what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Other than Shopify, is there any other third-party software solutions I need, or can everything more or less be covered within high level? So you don't need to have like an email provider there, and
Yeah.
you think what I mean?
Yeah, and you're asking with respect to e-commerce, I assume, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I personally, so e-commerce is one of our newest avatars, right?
I
So
heard you said that
it's
last week.
yeah. I mean, all the features you're using now and probably see are less than a month old, I assume, or maybe 2 months. So early stages. But it's important that you provide feedback, right? Folks like yourself, other e-commerce operators, we need feedback from you that says, Paulson, I like this. I don't like this. I want add to cart. I want finances here. I want X. Whatever that is, you give us feedback and show it into a Loom video of use case scenarios. We will go build it out in less than 2 weeks. That's our style. And that's why we evolve so fast. So to answer your question today, I don't think Shopify is the only one, but maybe some of the finances, cart management, follow-up, those are some of the pieces that are still not matured. But
they will
within
be
the next couple of
Shopify.
months,
They will be
yeah,
Shopify anyway. So
correct. Yeah.
yeah.
So from that context, we're pretty far along. And improving. So yeah, you wouldn't need anything else. And matter of fact, we're going to work towards replacing Shopify too, from what I understand. So even if you don't want to go through
yeah,
Shopify,
no, that's fantastic. Because if you had an e-commerce solution, i.e.
Yeah.
Shopify, within high level, you keep everything in one ecosystem,
Yeah.
which will be like fantastic.
It's brewing. It's brewing.
Well, let me know when that happens, please, Paul.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll drop off now, so we get
Okay.
other people on there.
No problem. I appreciate the questions. I know some of these questions are going. Second, there you are. Your Adnan, I think your audio is really choppy. Let me just. Okay, let me go ahead and unmute you one more time. let me go ahead and have you unmute. There you go. Perfect. Okay, cool.
Hi, Paulson.
Hello, how's it going? Where are you checking in from?
From Toronto.
Okay, awesome. A lot of folks from Toronto this morning.
Yes, I guess we're all on this call there. Just a quick question. I think there's going to be three-part, but they're all tied together.
Sure.
We were talking about the Google My Business, if you want to use that as Trojan horse instead of MCTV.
No, I didn't say that. I didn't say that.
No, I know.
Okay.
My question is, if I want to use that
GMB as your leading horse.
yes,
Okay.
how can we do that? Because I've gone through the setup. So the question is this: during the setup, I've done the snapshot for MCTV. If we were to use a Google My Business, is there a snapshot? And if there is, how do we approach that? And how can we, do we do that in the same account, or do we do that in different accounts? So it's like three-part question, right?
Yeah. So I guess let me make sure I understand your question. The first question is, do you need a different snapshot because you're leading with a different Trojan horse?
Yes, because the people that I'm targeting, they don't care about the calls. They don't get the calls. If they're
Yeah.
getting people leaving them a message or whatnot, so it
Yeah.
doesn't serve them.
So yeah, we thought this through when we built the 5-day challenge program. And the truth is, you don't need a different snapshot. You can use the same snapshot regardless of what you choose as your leading horse. So whether you don't use missed call, text back, or GMB or reviews or whatever, any one of those 5 you can use as your leading horse. But now when you do your marketing and prospecting, your demo style is different. You have to probably do the corporate style of teaching them what GMB is and things like that. But you can use the same snapshot.
Is there a setup for like websites the way you do for MCTV, right? You set it up and there's landing page and all that. Is there for Google My Business separate or not?
No, Google My Business is basically something, it's like a social channel. It's like a Facebook account that the business owns, right? So it doesn't function like a website. They have to register for Google My Business and give you access to it so you can maintain it and add your phone numbers and tracking and all of that. So they have to set it up. If they don't have it, you can launch one for them and create one for them. But it functions more like a social channel that they build for themselves. It's not the same as like a website.
What I wanted to understand was, when you're doing your Go setup, when you do within the setup, you have the MCTV
Correct.
page, right? Do we have something for Google My Business?
Yeah, there is. So when you go inside of a sub account level,
right,
that business, you can set up a Google My Business profile inside of high level. Yes.
Okay. Last part would be, let's say I have that. Can you have multiple sites within a sub account if you're running multiple offers, or is it just one?
Yeah, you can have as many websites and funnels and whatever for each sub account.
One sub account.
Yes.
In one sub account, I can have as many, and then for each I can have seven.
Yeah. Now let me warn you.
Sorry,
if I understand you correctly, do not use one sub account for multiple businesses. Right. So you don't want to put 10 websites for 10 different businesses in one sub account and go sell it that way.
I understand that part.
Yeah. Okay. I've seen people do that. Yeah, I've seen people do that to save money or something somehow, and they come back and have to rebuild the whole thing, because then at that point they're not able to migrate people into SaaS or bigger plans or whatever services.
So there's a small question now there. So let's say there's a bigger business. They have accounts, sub accounts. They do have 10 sub accounts, but they want the billing to be one account. So we just add all those to their one Stripe account, right? That can work.
Yeah, well, it's your Stripe account and your product that they're paying for. It doesn't matter whether the billing is not handled essentially through. Well, let me rephrase. Are you asking for SaaS?
Yes.
Yeah, then only one location would be charged, unless you set up all 10 accounts as a product separately.
Okay. So
Yeah.
all 10 are separate. Okay.
Yeah. So, but people don't like, let's say you come across a business, they have 10 locations and they want to pay for SaaS and they don't want to deal with 10 different payments. You could just turn off 9 accounts on SaaS and say, you know what? All your billing will come out of one account. So then you just need to change the product pricing. And the only thing you don't take advantage of is the SMS rebilling or email rebilling, which you lose out on. And really, that's like a bigger bulk of the revenue. Most people make $2,000 a month on texting rebilling versus the SaaS subscription often once they get to a certain level. So I don't recommend that practice of turning it off because each location has to have its own budget. Each location has to have its own bills. Do you go to the electricity company and say, I just want one bill because I have 10 buildings? You can't, so the same way I would function.
Okay, sounds great. Thank you so much, Paul.
Okay, awesome. Let's go with Terrence. Let's see, 12:17. I'll keep a couple of more questions going. Hopefully this is insightful and you're getting some golden nuggets out of this. Let me go with Terrence. Hey, Terrence Young. Let me go ahead and there you are. Hey, Terrence, where are you checking in from?
How you doing, Paulson? I'm in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Okay. Awesome. Welcome in.
Thank you. My question, so I'm a commercial mortgage broker, right? And I run my business out of Go High Level at the $97 level.
Sure.
Now, I want to move up to the SaaS because I started to coach other people to become commercial mortgage brokers.
Okay.
And so now, just started it, and I want to be able to provide them a marketing platform. So that's where I'm thinking the SaaS will come into effect. So I created a name for the SaaS company, for the technology for them to go. So my question is, even though I already have the 97, like my main company is the agency. So when I move up to SaaS, does the technology company, do I change that and make that the agency? So I can, because as of right now, I'm thinking from what I'm hearing, it would be a sub account, but I will want that as the actual agency, correct?
1000%, yes.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, because that's going to be the functioning provider of the service, not you personally, right?
Right.
It's a company, but your business, which is the mortgage business, should be a sub account within your agency umbrella, which is what you franchise and box out and all of that. But yeah, to answer your question, yes, you want to move your agency brand up as the SaaS plan.
Okay, great. And then when you was talking to the Dr. M, you were saying if I go into the community and I can actually put it out there and somebody can like build out the platform, like say if I just want to, give them the offers, their website just automatically, out the box.
Yeah, I mean, you can. So there's few ways to go about it. You can go directly to our certified program and there's a directory, right? And the directory looks like this. Let me just go ahead and share my screen. Directory. I think it's directory at gohighlevel.com. It's so new, I don't even know the links. But yeah, if you go to directory at gohighlevel.com, these are all the people that sat through our proctoring, and it's pretty hard to get certified. Okay. So these are all the geniuses that you want to kind of tap into and be like, hey, here's my budget. Can we play or not play? It's that simple. And that's my style because I don't like technology. I don't want to build out these things. I don't get excited about the new feature that, Sean and the team launches. And I'm the oddball in the business. That's why, that's why. So there's about 260 people that are certified from what I know, or something along those lines, or they're actively trying to get certified. So there's plenty of people to choose from. The other option is for you to go to our High Level official community. It's a Facebook group of 60,000 people. There's actually 80,000 marketers. So about 20,000 people are missing from Facebook. But here, you can just literally look at this, right? anyone in restaurant/bar industry, how do you bring value to with high level? Like people are just having conversations left and right, and you can just simply type in and say, hey, here's my budget, here's my project, here's my timeline. Can this be executed? And if so, can you show me past proof of work? Because one thing we don't do is police this. We don't keep track of who's being honest or not. It's too much for us, right? And then the other option you have is going to the high level job. There's 4 different Facebook groups: the high level Facebook group, the official one, the 5-day challenge one, which is the private one for the challenge. We have the high level SaaSpreneurs, which are people that are on the 497 plan. And then we have the high level job network. If you go to the high level job network, these are typically all virtual assistants. That's a lot of people that you can choose from and say, hey, listen, this is my project, right? So here's Alex Ortega asking, who's the best funnel builder? Here's my project. Specifically, I'm looking for this, blah, 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 right? So people are just talking about their projects. It's like a project directory. Looking for web builder, looking for it's just nonstop job site almost, right? And that's something that we facilitate, but we don't regulate. So just be aware of that. And those are probably the 2-3 different places you can go and be like, hey, who worked with mortgage officers? Who built XYZ? Here's my budget. I need this done by end of day today.
Right. And with those people, I guess for a price onboard my students.
Sometimes. Good question. Yeah, there are white labelers that will fulfill your entire SaaS for you. They will deal with customer service. They will deal with customer support. And there are third-party businesses like that. So there are a couple of, you just want to type in and see who those people are and do your research. But there are a couple of big third-party agencies that white label onboarding, fulfillment, maintenance, support, and they'll charge you, I don't know, $100 an account per month. And if that's the case, cool. I'm gonna make sure I charge $400 an account now instead of $297 Paulson's talking about, because now I need to make that extra gap, right? So I think those are things that you can set up in the beginning as you launch, but eventually when you get to that 100 client mark, you want to bring some of these things in-house and have a better margin and outlook. But hopefully that gives you some ideas.
It does. And then just one final thing was on what you're teaching about the text, the text thing. Now, since I already got an audience for the SaaS, which is the students, would you suggest as far as the text kind of maybe branching out and dealing with other people that's not within my
No, if you've already found yourself in a lane,
okay,
flag that down and go all in. Like I recommend the idea of not niching down, going local, and testing different things out till you get to that 25 client mark. That's just the testing ground. That's just the beta phase. I recommend everybody to pick a lane after that and say, you know what, I'm gonna build a brand here, go all in on this space and go all in. But you coming from that industry and you have experience there and people are coming to you for consulting and coaching, then it makes sense for you to stay in that lane and go all in versus picking up a pizza restaurant, right? So my point is to make sure people are not sometimes people niche down too quick without knowing what they want and who they are and what they provide, which is why I make that recommendation. But long term, you do need to niche down and narrow somewhere. And it sounds like you're doing that already. So stay there, I would recommend.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
Okay, cool. Awesome. Let's go with Mr. User. Let's see. How's it going? Where are you checking in from? What's your name again? Yeah.
I'm Enzo, and I'm checking in from the Bahamas.
Nice, man. Awesome. Welcome in. What's your question?
Great. So my first question is about prospecting. I don't have a lot of people in my network at the moment. How about 5 or 6 max? Right.
Okay.
So very far from that 100 dream. Should I just start doing cold calling and cold email and that kind of stuff? I know you said not to do it, but I've been in Facebook groups, got around 40 people that I would call, right? So just do that instead. Do you have any other tips on that?
Run paid ads.
Paid ads. Okay.
go straight
Got
to
it.
Facebook advertising if you don't want to build out a network or if that's not something you want to do. I think paid ads is better than cold calling and cold emailing because if you really look at the actual labor cost, it's probably more expensive to do cold calling because like let's say you charge $95 an hour for yourself, right? Like your own cost, and you spend 5 hours cold calling that's $500 that you would paid yourself if you were working in your business, right? I rather just take the $500 and go run paid ads and get 2 customers and deal with inbound. That's my flavor, but it doesn't resonate with everybody. But if you want to look at some of the 3-day workshops that I've done, look at the one I did with Joel Kaplan. Unfortunately, it's like 12 hours long. It was intense, but we taught people how to do $1,000, 1,000 cold calls a day, 10,000 emails a day, run, $300 per day Facebook ads budget, Google. We talked a lot about cold prospecting in Joel Kaplan's workshop, and it's one of the highest watched workshops on the planet. So and his, you can learn that stuff for $25,000 in a coaching program or learn it for free for YouTube, and then you got to implement all of it. That's probably what I would do. I would run paid ads instead of doing cold. I'm not a fan of cold in today's environment. It just costs too much. Great way to get started, but I'm not a fan of it long term.
Got it. Thank you.
Cool.
So I don't know
Okay.
if you can give me the link for that Joe Captain stuff. I'm
Joel
sorry, I don't know.
Kaplan. Yeah.
That
So
right.
if you
Yeah.
go to
Uh,
I'll just share my screen real quick. So if
Great.
you go
Oh, and the
to-
second question while you do that, so you don't lose time, so
Yeah.
you can do another person. It
Yeah,
was
here it
about
is.
sales.
Here
Oh,
it is.
great.
If you go to virtual workshops, you'll see Adrian Brambilla. We did one with Jason Wardrobe. We did one with Billie Jean, and then right here, Joel. And I would go through Joel's, but it's really intense. But if you want some of that's not, Joel is not the only person. If you go through Andy Aude's workshop too, there's one with like webinars, how to launch webinars. All the workshops are built around sales and prospecting. So take a look at those in the YouTube channel. What was your second question? I'm sorry.
Great. The second, I know you're a salesperson, so let's go to that.
Yeah.
It wasn't really clear to me in the course when are you presenting how much stuff costs. I know you do the first call, being warm or cold, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Right? You do that quick 1-minute demo thing, and then you book the 30-minute demo. Is that it? Correct?
So the
no?
demo is 1 minute and the onboarding
Yeah.
is 30 minutes.
So how do you get to go to the 30-minute onboarding call if you didn't close the deal yet? Are you onboarding a client that you didn't close?
Yeah, you're not going to onboard them unless you close the deal.
Yeah. Do you
So
close the deal
so
in this first cold call?
Yeah. Well, that's why cold doesn't work. You can't close deals on the
Yeah.
first cold call, right? So you got to
Yeah.
follow up then. But when we do the warm network, usually because you have some sort of a like and trust, you can close the deals once you have developed that confidence and voice before they show up to your onboarding. So before the onboarding, closing has to happen. And that's like a 30-minute Zoom call versus over the phone, you can just do a 1-minute demo of the actual texting. But yeah, I mean, those are some of the limitations of cold, but paid ads will allow you to deal with inbound leads that are setting appointments themselves so that they're a little bit more warmed up at that point. You're sending them information, knowledge, PDFs, whatever your sales cycle looks like.
So you present the price before you tell all the other columns of the
Yeah.
thing, like
Well, golden rule
the
number
apart
one
from this
is
something, yeah.
Yeah, golden rule is you don't bring up the price. You let them bring up the price, right? So once they bring up the price, you can tell them, "Hey, your investment is $297. Let me go ahead and show you how the ROI could be calculated." At that point, I'll pull up my ROI calculator if I'm on a Zoom, or I'll have them go to it and type in the numbers while I'm doing that with them and say, "Hey, how much is your ticket worth? Here's how many people we can bring back in. Here's the percentage." And I show them the ROI and I'll tell them, "Hey, your investment will be $297 a month. We obviously have a setup fee to just get everything set up on time. But my goal is to bring back $5,000 worth of business that you're losing on the phones. Can we work together?" and they're going to say yes or no. If they say yes, perfect. Let's set up a call tomorrow so we can set this whole thing up. Can I do a Zoom call at 2:30 p.m.? Perfect. Great. Are there any other decision makers that I should include on this call? Great. Then I just move forward. And when you know, that's the transition you want to kind of make.
So let's say they don't talk about the price. Do you have any tips to get
Get
them
off
to talk
the-
about
get-
the price?
Yeah, get off the call without talking about the price is what I would recommend, because you don't ever want to be the person that leads with price. And eventually they're going to follow up when you follow up, because somebody has to follow up, right? And then in the follow-ups, the conversation will come up of, okay, how much is this again? How much does this cost? How does this work? You just wait until that invitation happens. Cool.
Got it. That makes sense. Yeah, that was the question. Thank you.
Okay, awesome. I am going to end the Q&A there. Hopefully you guys all got a lot of nuggets out of it. And let's see, it's already 12:30. Yeah, so I've got to end the call. Tomorrow we'll start again, 12 o'clock EST. That's New York time. Make sure you jump into the Facebook group, the private Facebook group for the 5-day challenge. Interact, introduce yourself. If you're like a salesperson and want to connect with like the tech wizards, make sure you say that, and you can find people, and vice versa. If you want somebody to handle sales for you and you're a tech wizard, also invite for that. And I'm sure you can find some partners and collaborators that you can work with and start and launch your business pretty quickly. But anyways, we'll see you tomorrow with the 4th day. We're going to have a Q&A around sales and marketing again. And Friday, we'll talk about client fulfillment if you want me to, or whatever else. If you have anything you're struggling with, make sure you can go to our support systems and channels. It's speakwith.us/success. You can talk to a live agent if you're struggling with anything. If you need anything else, make sure you post in the private Facebook group. If you don't have access to the 5-day challenge online course yet, it's inside of your university. When you log inside High Level, on the left side of the menu, click on university and go check out the 5-day challenge and all the collaterals in it. But I'll see you tomorrow. Have a good rest of your day.